Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here on this morning's edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because things happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, so you want to be up to speed with all that is America's team. I told you guys last Friday when it was kind of quiet before Robert Kraft and everything else, all that blew up and everything else, I said this was the calm before the storm. And for us Dallas Cowboy fans, we got Jason Witten back. So you may wonder, how old is Jason Witten? Hold on for a second. You see the shirt right here? I got this in 2007 when we did a photo shoot with him at his youth camp in Middleton or Littleton, Tennessee. 2007. How long ago? Let me show you how much things have changed. Hang on here for 1 second. Oh, boy. Take a look at that. A little sunburnt. Jason Witten, probably a lot more hair. Michael Anthony, a lot younger. Me, a lot thinner. Yeah. "12 years ago." 12 years ago. Wow. 12 years ago. You know that Facebook, I don't think was a thing. I think MySpace was still happening. Wow. George Bush was still president. Anyway, Jason Witten coming back. To me, one of the things that I've told you guys about, or at least in my mind, one of the reasons why it's hard to repeat is everything's stacked against you. You get later draft picks, okay? People know that you've won, so it makes their season if they can beat you. And when you play in the playoffs and Super Bowl, you have a much shorter off season. And make no mistake about it, football is a all year round sport for these guys. You can't just do like back in the day when I did that, the football players, they went off, they worked another job to support themselves and just didn't think about football. And then they came back and had like 8 weeks of training camp to get in shape. You have to be in shape all year round. And starting next month in April, the team's going to start getting together and start working out. So your window to heal is very, very short. So if you're a guy that, you went through the season, now I got to get my foot, operated on, or my knee scoped, or my shoulder, you don't necessarily, hopefully it's minor, but if it's major injuries, somebody like Alan Hearns, you're not going to be able to do that working out with the team. So it's hard to heal. And in some cases, guys never really heal up that well. Because they're constantly playing over, you end the season, you start working out, and then you're back into the grind. And your body is just worn out. Now, what I might say, when you look at Jason Witten's career, Jason Witten was an Iron Man. Jason Witten didn't miss games. Jason Witten had hands of gold. But he was getting up there, and one thing I've learned is you get up there, it's harder to recover. It takes more time to get up out of bed. I drive around for a while, that first step out the truck is hell. But once you get going, you're okay. So in some regards, the fact that Jason Witten hasn't had that wear and tear on his body for that last year has enabled it to heal up real well. Now, I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. I know his mental faculties are there. I know those hands are still going to be there. I know that he knows how to run routes, but speed was never his game. He's always been slow as a turtle. So experience in that locker room, I think it's huge. having him on the field as a team leader, as a guiding light, is huge. As a mentor, and hopefully it's not Jason Witten who never comes off the field. It's Jason Witten who is getting a rotation and getting these other guys involved. And think about the way Dalton Schultz came on towards the end of the season. Think about when we go into 2 tight end sets now, and you got Jason Witten. You've got now 2 potential targets there. Think about having then Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup there with Zeke Elliott in the backfield. You don't necessarily need him to be a speed burner downfield. You need him to be a guy who can keep the chains moving, who can get you when it's a blitz, a big target to just drop it off on. So I'm excited about that, and I can't wait to see him back on the field. I think it's huge for our Dallas Cowboys. You know, everything that you do in football is a gamble. You never know how things are going to work out. But you go through, you make the best decisions you can, you say a prayer, you hope, and you just see how it works out. But I think it's going to work out good for the Cowboys. I feel excited because they plugged a hole in an area of need, which now enables you to pivot on some of the other ones. Now, speaking of plugging holes, last night, and I posted on my other channel because I've been working on the set and stuff, and I got finished down here, and hopefully my other stuff comes in before tonight's show so I can finish wiring all this up. But I'm changing and working on the studio to make it more streamlined and make it so there's less tripping hazards on all the wires and stuff as I get ready to set up this other locker and things. But I had gone upstairs, getting ready to take a shower, and then this came across from Calvin Watkins. I didn't make this up. This is Calvin Watkins. Said, a source confirms that the Cowboys have met with Earl Thomas's reps at the Combine. It was more about gauging Thomas and looking for what Thomas is looking for financially. And that's one of those things that I scratched my head, and I said this last night. And maybe somebody can help me out and clarify it, but technically, you can't do that. You remember that the NFL investigated us for tampering about Earl Thomas before because we were supposedly talking to Earl Thomas before the game, like, are you ready for tomorrow? Because a trade was imminent. They were working on a trade. Do you guys remember that? The NFL finally cleared us of it. But here's the thing. You're not supposed to be having communications with the players until March 11th. And this, which is, it's kind of crazy the way the whole rule system works, because it used to be you couldn't talk to the players till 4 o'clock on the day, on the league year. But the NFL decided what we want to have is we want more action on that day. So we're going to let you guys talk to players 2 days before. Originally it was 3 days before. Start figuring out the guidelines so that way come 4 o'clock we can have all this activity on the day the league opens up. You get where we're going here? It's kind of like fake drama that they're trying to create. But understand, and I want to go through, let me go through it because I've loaded up here. Because I'm trying to understand exactly how we're not in trouble for doing that. Because this is the rules from the NFL right here. What is tampering? In the NFL, it is illegal to contact or speak or acquire about another team's player while it is clear who will make up the large majority of its free agent class. All those players are technically under contract until the New Year League begins on Wednesday at 4 p.m. So what, people came back and told me I'm an idiot. Oh, it doesn't matter, because they were just talking to his agent. So the first thing that came out was that they talked to Earl Thomas. But whether you talk to Earl Thomas or his agents, you're still talking to a contracted player. Are you not? Because that would be like the Eagles. We know Philly 500 said that DeMarcus Lawrence, he's a free agent. We want him if he hits the market. That's the same situation you are in with DeMarcus Lawrence. So would you want DeMarcus Lawrence's agents talking to other teams right now? They can't do that. even though we're probably going to, if we don't have that contract done by the 6th, we'll franchise tag him, and we're not going to let him go. But technically, Seattle could go ahead and franchise tag him as well and hold on to his rights. So it's the same situation. So I don't understand how that is even possible, and maybe somebody can clarify. And I'm hoping that it didn't actually happen and that the NFL doesn't come back and get us for tampering, because by the rules, you can't do what was reported. So officially, here's the thing, officially on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, cutting the period to 3 days to 2, is when you are supposed to be able to start talking to free agent players, representatives. They can't come in and do visits. They can't actually sign a contract until 4 o'clock on Wednesday. So Cowboys, I hope you're not getting in trouble for tampering if you did in fact talk. And I'm sure, understand, okay, let me be clear. I can guarantee you that people are always talking. It might be not direct talks. It might be somebody who's a friend of the agent that's talking back and forth. We know all that stuff goes on behind the scenes. But for it to be reported, again, and I didn't make it up, I'm going by what's reported by Calvin Watkins, and let me blow it up so you guys see. A source confirms that the Cowboys have met with Earl Thomas's reps at the Combine. It was more about gauging what Thomas is looking for. So, isn't that negotiations? I don't know. But guys, hold on to your hats. You never know what's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys, because when you least expect it, expect it. And I can't wait to see Stephen A. Smith today after I called his ass out again. Stephen A., I got you, man. I got you. All right, I hope you guys have a great Friday. I've got a whole lot of work to do in the shop. Let me know if you guys want me to live stream while we're doing some building there or not. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.